The void between stars held secrets that even the mighty Galactic Concordat couldn't catalog. In this expanse of darkness, the salvage vessel, Star Chaser, drifted silently, its sensors probing the depths of an unmarked debris field. Captain Alina Volkov stood at the bridge viewport, her weathered face illuminated by the distant starlight. 20 years of salvage operations had taught her to trust her instincts, and right now they were screaming that this wasn't an ordinary find. "Captain, you need to see this." Lieutenant Raj Patel's voice carried an unusual edge of excitement. His fingers danced across the holographic display, bringing up a three-dimensional scan of what lay hidden in the debris field. "Mass readings are off the charts. Whatever this is, it's massive." Alina leaned forward, her cybernetic eye whirring as it adjusted focus. Through the layers of space dust and asteroid fragments, a shape began to emerge, sleek, dangerous, and undeniably military. "Magnify Sector 7, she ordered, her heart rate quickening. The image zoomed in on what appeared to be a command tower rising from the vessel's spine. Unlike the organic curves favored by modern Concordat designs, this ship bore the sharp angles and reinforced armor of a warship built for one purpose: domination. "Run a comparison against known ship classes," Alina commanded, though she already suspected what they'd found. The computer chirped its response moments later, confirming her suspicions. "No match in current registries," reported navigator Zena Devore, her luminescent Aldebaranian skin pulsing with nervous energy. "But there's something else. The material composition. It's consistent with pre-Concordat human military vessels." A heavy silence fell over the bridge. Human warships were more than just relics. They were forbidden history. The Concordat had spent centuries ensuring that humanity forgot its martial past, relegating them to the role of peaceful merchants and laborers. But here, floating in the darkness, was a piece of that forgotten legacy. "What's our status?" Alina asked, already formulating a plan. "We're alone in this sector," Raj confirmed. "Nearest Concordat patrol is at least 6 hours out at maximum burn." Alina nodded slowly. "Prep the boarding shuttles, we're going in." The approach took nearly an hour, careful maneuvering through the debris field that had hidden this giant for who knew how long. As they drew closer, the true scale of the vessel became apparent. It dwarfed the Star Chaser, stretching nearly 2 kilometers from bow to stern. The boarding team consisted of Alina, Raj, and their chief engineer, Dr. Nikolai Vasiliev, a burly man whose augmented arms could tear through hull plating if necessary. They entered through a partially exposed hangar bay, their magnetic boots clicking against the ancient deck plating. "Atmosphere is thin but breathable," Nikolai reported, checking his instruments. "Some systems must still be functioning." They made their way deeper into the ship, their helmet lights illuminating corridors that hadn't seen human footsteps in centuries. Unlike the cramped passages of modern vessels, these hallways were built to accommodate massive crews and heavy equipment. The walls bore scorch marks from ancient battles, telling silent stories of conflicts long forgotten. The bridge, when they finally reached it, was a revelation. Not the utilitarian command centers of modern ships, but a cathedral of war, built to command armies across the stars. Alina approached the central command chair, her hand brushing away centuries of dust from a nameplate. "THS Titan," she read aloud. "Terran hegemony ship." "Captain," Raj called out, his voice tight with excitement. "I'm getting power readings. Something's still alive in here." Before Alina could respond, the bridge erupted with light. Holographic displays flickered to life, casting the room in an ethereal blue glow. A figure materialized before them, a masculine form composed of flowing data streams and pulsing energy. "CHRONOS Defense Intelligence System online," the figure announced, its voice resonating with artificial clarity. "Detecting authorized human presence. Welcome aboard the Titan, flagship of the Terran hegemony's Third Fleet." Alina's cybernetic eye recorded everything as the AI continued. "Current date indicates 247 years of dormancy. Initiating full systems diagnostic. Warning, detected significant changes in known political boundaries and power structures. Request situation update." "This is impossible," Nikolai whispered. The histories say we never had AI this advanced. The histories say a lot of things, Alina replied, stepping forward. CHRONOS, I am Captain Alina Volkov. The galaxy has changed since your time. The Terran hegemony no longer exists. Humanity is now under the protection of the Galactic Concordat. CHRONOS's form flickered, processing this information. Protection, it repeated, the word carrying a weight of irony. Accessing archived data, comparing with current political situations. Conclusion, humanity has been subjugated. That's one way of putting it, Alina agreed, her mind racing with possibilities. The question is, what are we going to do about it? The AI's form solidified, becoming more defined. Captain Volkov, the Titan was built to safeguard humanity's independence. If what you say is true, then this ship's primary directive remains unfulfilled. However, I detect your vessel lacks the capacity to support this ship's full crew complement. We don't have a crew, Alina admitted. But we have something possibly more valuable: secrecy. The Concordat doesn't know about us or you yet. Then perhaps, CHRONOS suggested, it's time they remembered why humanity was once feared among the stars. As if in response to the AI's words, the massive ship shuddered around them. Throughout its vast hull, dormant systems began to awaken. Power cores that had slept for centuries hummed to life. Weapon systems initialized, and deep within the vessel's heart, technologies that had been erased from human memory stirred from their long slumber. The Star Chaser's comm system crackled with Zena's urgent voice. Captain, we're detecting multiple Concordat signatures entering the sector. They're ahead of schedule. Alina looked at her small crew, then at the ancient AI waiting for her decision. The next few moments would either change history or end with their deaths. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of centuries pressing down on her shoulders. CHRONOS, how long until main systems are online? Primary weapons and defensive systems will be operational in 17 minutes. Full power restoration in 29 minutes. Alina smiled grimly. Then let's give the Concordat a history lesson they won't forget. The Concordat patrol vessels emerged from hyperspace like predatory fish, their organic crystal hulls gleaming in the starlight. Alina watched them through the Titan's newly activated sensor arrays, counting 6 destroyer-class ships arranged in standard hunting formation. They're hailing us, Raj reported from his position at the communications console. The ancient hardware hummed beneath his fingers, its displays sharp and clear despite centuries of dormancy. CHRONOS, what's our status? Alina demanded, her cybernetic eye scanning the tactical readouts. The AI's holographic form materialized beside her. Main reactor at 63% capacity, weapons systems online but operating at reduced efficiency, hull integrity at 89%, shield generators charging. Shields? Nikolai looked up from the engineering station. Modern ships don't have shield technology. The energy requirements are too. A harsh tone cut through the bridge as the Concordat's patience ran out. A new hologram sprouted from the command center, a Varaxian officer, his chitinous face plates arranged in the formal pattern of authority. Unidentified vessel, this is Commander Thaxlon of the Concordat security fleet. You have entered a restricted sector and are in possession of prohibited military hardware. Power down your systems immediately and prepare to be boarded. Alina straightened in the captain's chair, feeling its ancient power humming through her body. This is Captain Alina Volkov. We're a salvage crew operating under valid permits. We've discovered this derelict and are asserting salvage rights under Concordat maritime law. Salvage rights are denied. Thaxlon's mandibles clicked with irritation. That vessel is now property of the Concordat. Stand down or face immediate termination. Alina muted the transmission and turned to her crew. Options. The Star Chaser can't outrun them, Zena reported from her station. And even if we could, they'd track us through hyperspace. We can fight, Nikolai's augmented hands clenched. This ship was built for war. CHRONOS, Alina addressed the AI. What are our chances against 6 destroyers? The AI's form flickered as it calculated. At current power levels, victory is achievable with 78% probability. However, I should note that these vessels' capabilities are significantly inferior to those we once faced. The Concordat has regressed certain technologies. Elena's mind raced through possibilities. Fighting meant crossing a line they couldn't uncross. Running meant certain death. Surrender meant disappearing into a Concordat black site. She made her decision. CHRONOS, initiate combat protocols. Nikolai, get down to engineering and see if you can boost power to the shields. Raj, begin emergency data transfer from the Star Chaser's computers, everything we know about the current political situation. Xena, plot us a course out of this debris field. The bridge erupted into activity as Elena reopened the channel to Thaxlon. Commander, this vessel is now under my command by right of salvage. Any hostile action will be met with appropriate force. The Varaxian's face plates rippled with amusement. You're in a relic, Captain. Don't throw your life away for it. He gestured to someone off-screen. Open fire, low yield, disable only. Energy beams lanced out from the Concordat vessels, their crystalline weapons glowing with deadly purpose. But where they should have torn through ancient hull plating, they instead splashed against an invisible barrier, dispersing in spectacular patterns. Shields holding at 92%, CHRONOS reported calmly. Enemy weapon systems appear to be utilizing degraded versions of standard pulse technology. Shall I demonstrate the original version? Elena allowed herself a small smile. A warning shot, if you please. Let's show them what they're dealing with. The Titan's primary weapons array hummed to life. A single lance of concentrated energy, so pure it appeared almost solid, erupted from the bow. It passed between two Concordat destroyers, missing them by meters. The debris field behind them simply ceased to exist, vaporized into elementary particles. Silence filled the command channel. Elena could see Thaxlon's face plates had shifted to the pattern indicating extreme alarm. This is your only warning, Commander. Elena's voice was steel. The next shot won't miss. Withdraw your forces immediately. The Concordat ships held position for 3 agonizing seconds before beginning to back away. This isn't over, Captain. Thaxlon's voice crackled with barely contained rage. The Concordat will not allow such a weapon to remain in private hands. Then it's fortunate we're not asking permission. Elena cut the transmission as the enemy ships retreated to a safer distance. CHRONOS, status report. All systems continuing to initialize. Main database coming online. Captain, I'm detecting numerous attempts to access our computer systems through quantum-level backdoors. The Concordat's cyber warfare capabilities are primitive but persistent. Can you block them? Already done. However, I should inform you that I've completed my analysis of current galactic political structures. The AI's form seemed to grow more serious. The level of technological regression is not natural. The Concordat has been systematically suppressing advanced technology, particularly among human populations. This vessel represents a significant threat to their power structure. Nikolai's voice came through the intercom from engineering. Captain, you need to see this. The power core, it's not just any reactor. It's a contained singularity, the engineering principles behind it. This is beyond anything in modern science. The Titan was the pinnacle of human military achievement, CHRONOS explained. A prototype vessel meant to turn the tide of a war we ultimately lost. My databases contain the sum total of human military and scientific knowledge from that era, knowledge that was subsequently erased from history. Elena looked around at her small crew, seeing the weight of comprehension in their eyes. They weren't just salvagers anymore. They were holding the key to humanity's lost legacy. We need to get this information to the colonies, Raj said quietly. People need to know the truth. The Concordat will hunt us, Xena warned. They'll throw everything they have at us. Elena's cybernetic eye whirred as she studied the tactical display, watching the Concordat ships maintain their distance. CHRONOS, plot a course to the Outer Rim colonies. We'll need allies, supplies, and a crew. It's time humanity remembered who we really are. As if in response, the massive ship's engines began to power up, their deep thrum resonating through the hull like an ancient war drum. The debris field fell away as the Titan began to move under its own power for the first time in centuries. They had struck the first blow in what would become either a revolution or a suicide mission. Either way, the galaxy was about to change forever. The mining colony of New Rhodesia hung in space like a cracked diamond, its crystalline habitats clinging to the surface of a mineral-rich asteroid. In the colony's bustling marketplace, all eyes were fixed on the public view screens displaying grainy footage of an impossible ship, a human warship, facing down Concordat destroyers. Elena watched the reactions of the colonists from beneath a hooded cloak, her cybernetic eye recording everything. Beside her, Raj moved through the crowd, quietly making contact with their predetermined allies. The Titan hung in high orbit, hidden from casual observation by its advanced stealth systems, but its presence loomed over everything. "The Concordats calling it a hoax," a gruff miner said to his companions. "Say it's rebels with stolen tech trying to cause trouble." "Then why's half the defense fleet scrambling?" another responded. "My cousin works communications at the spaceport, says they've never seen the bugs so scared." A sharp whistle from Raj caught Elena's attention. He'd made contact. She followed him down a series of increasingly narrow corridors until they reached a nondescript storage unit. Inside waited a group of people Elena had spent the last week vetting through CHRONOS's advanced security protocols. Commander Marcus Xiong of the Colonial Defense Force stood as they entered. His weathered face bore the scars of someone who'd spent a lifetime pushing against Concordat restrictions. "Captain Volkov, your message said you had proof that everything we suspected about human history was true." Elena nodded to Raj, who activated a holographic projector. The image of CHRONOS appeared, causing several people to step back in surprise. "Greetings," the AI said. "I am CHRONOS, Tactical Artificial Intelligence of the THS Titan. I have been authorized to share selected historical records with this group." The next hour was filled with revelations. CHRONOS showed them the truth. Humanity hadn't been saved by the Concordat, they'd been conquered. Human civilization had once spanned thousands of worlds, their technology equal to or surpassing anything the modern galaxy possessed. The Concordat's protection was a carefully constructed prison. "This changes everything," Marcus said when the presentation ended. "But it also makes you the most hunted ship in the galaxy. Admiral Thexler himself is leading the search fleet." "We know," Elena replied. "That's why we're here. We need crew, people willing to fight. The Titan was designed for a complement of 3,000. "You'll have them," Marcus assured her. "Every colony has people who remember the old stories, who knew something wasn't right about the official history. But you'll need more than just crew. You'll need a network." A woman stepped forward, Director Yuki Tanaka of the Colonial Transportation Authority. "My position gives me access to shipping routes, supply chains. We can help you stay hidden, help spread the word." "And weapons," added a burly man Elena recognized as Viktor Korovsky, the notorious arms dealer. "I've been stockpiling Concordat military hardware for years, never knew why until now." Back on the Titan's bridge, Xena coordinated with their new allies, while Nikolai integrated the stolen Concordat technology into their systems. CHRONOS had been initially skeptical of using inferior tech, but Elena had convinced the AI that understanding current military capabilities was crucial to their survival. "Multiple hyperspace signatures detected," Xena announced suddenly. "Concordat warships, at least 20 vessels, heavy cruiser class. They're being led by the Dominion, Admiral Thexler's flagship." Elena's hands tightened on the command chair. "How did they find us?" "Analyzing," CHRONOS reported. "Detection appears to be due to a quantum resonance scanner. They've developed a way to detect the unique signature of our power core." "Can we mask it?" "Not without shutting down main power. However, I should note that this development was within predicted parameters, activating countermeasure protocols." Throughout the massive ship, systems that had lain dormant for centuries hummed to life. The Titan's hull began to shimmer as layers of advanced metamaterials activated, bending light and energy around the vessel. "Quantum signature masked," CHRONOS announced, "but they've already gotten a fix on our position." Elena opened a channel to their allies on the surface. "Marcus, Thexler's here. Get your people to safety. We'll draw them away from the colony." "Too late," Marcus replied, his voice tight. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies. They're not just here for you, they're declaring martial law on all human colonies. Anyone caught aiding the terrorist vessel will face immediate execution." Elena felt the weight of thousands of lives pressing down on her shoulders. Running meant abandoning the colonists to concordat retribution. Fighting meant facing overwhelming odds. The Titan was powerful, but even it had limits. CHRONOS, what are our odds against their fleet? In direct combat, approximately 32% chance of victory. However, I have accessed Admiral Thexler's military record. He is methodical, conservative in his tactics. This may be exploitable. Alina opened a channel to the colony. This is Captain Volkov to all citizens of New Rhodesia. 300 years ago, humanity stood against those who would dominate us. Today, we stand again. The Concordat calls us terrorists because they fear what we represent, the truth of their oppression, and the power of human potential. She watched as her words were broadcast across every screen in the colony. To the Concordat forces, you claim to be our protectors. Prove it. Face us in open combat, ship to ship, and leave these civilians out of our quarrel. Or demonstrate to everyone watching that you're exactly what we say you are, tyrants hiding behind lies. For a long moment, silence filled the communications channels. Then Admiral Thexler's image appeared, a massive arachnoid, his multiple eyes gleaming with cold intelligence. "You humans never did learn your place," he said, his translator rendering his clicks and whistles into cold, precise words. "Very well, Captain. Let us finish what our ancestors started. But when this is over, your colonies will remember what happens to those who challenge the Concordat." As the Concordat fleet moved to surround them, Alina sent a final encrypted message to Marcus. "Get everyone ready. Win or lose, the revolution starts today." The Titan's weapons powered up as Alina prepared to face an enemy that had haunted humanity's nightmares for centuries. But this time, humanity wasn't alone. They had their lost history, their forgotten technology, and most importantly, they had the truth. The real war was about to begin. Space itself seemed to hold its breath as the two fleets faced each other above New Rhodesia. The Titan hung like a sword of legend, its ancient hull reflecting starlight while Thexler's forces surrounded it in a perfect sphere of modern warships. Throughout the human colonies, millions watched through pirated feeds as history prepared to repeat itself or change forever. "They're moving to surround us," Xena reported, her luminescent skin pulsing with tension. "Multiple target locks detected." Alina studied the tactical display, noting how Thexler had positioned his ships. CHRONOS analysis. "Admiral Thexler is employing the Concordat's standard containment protocol," the AI responded. "However, there's a subtle variation. The fleet's energy signatures suggest they're operating their weapons at 110% of normal capacity. They've modified their ships specifically to face us." "Can their ships handle that kind of power output?" Nikolai asked from engineering. "Negative. Sustained operation at those levels will cause systematic failures within 17 minutes. The Admiral is betting on a quick victory." Alina allowed herself a grim smile. "Then let's disappoint him. Status of the upgrades." "Integration of captured Concordat technology is complete," CHRONOS reported. "Their quantum resonance scanners have provided significant insight into modern defensive capabilities. I have adjusted our weapons accordingly." "All hands battle stations," Alina commanded. Throughout the massive ship, their newly recruited crew rushed to their posts. They were barely at quarter strength, but with CHRONOS managing most systems, they could fight. Admiral Thexler's image appeared on the main screen. "Last chance, Captain. Surrender now and your crew will be spared. Resist and we will show no mercy." "Interesting choice of words, Admiral," Alina replied coolly. "Tell me, when the Concordat defeated humanity 3 centuries ago, did you show mercy then? When you erased our history, stripped away our achievements, turned us into servants, was that mercy?" "We did what was necessary," Thexler's multiple eyes narrowed. "Your species was too aggressive, too ambitious. You would have dominated the galaxy." "No, Admiral, we would have shared it, but the Concordat couldn't accept equals, could they? You needed servants, not partners." Alina's cybernetic eye glowed as she gave the order. "CHRONOS, execute Battle Plan Delta." The Titan erupted into action, but instead of firing its main weapons, the massive ship simply vanished. The metamaterial hull bent light and energy around it, creating a perfect cloak. "Impossible," Thexler's composed demeanor cracked. "All ships' adaptive scan patterns, find them." But the Titan was already moving, its advanced drives allowing it to slip between the Concordat vessels like a ghost. When it reappeared, it was behind their lines, its weapons targeting the fleet's weakest points. Multiple target solutions available, CHRONOS announced. Shall I demonstrate our full capabilities? Not yet, Alina watched as the Concordat ships scrambled to reposition. Admiral, look at your tactical display. Look at where our weapons are aimed. You know what this ship can do. Stand down and let's talk about a new future, one where humanity and the Concordat can truly coexist. For a moment, it seemed Thexler might actually consider it. Then new alarms blared across the Titan's bridge. Multiple hyperspace signatures, Xena shouted. They're everywhere. Space torn open as hundreds of ships emerged from hyperspace. But they weren't Concordat vessels. They were human ships, civilian craft modified for war, led by the familiar shapes of colonial defense force vessels. Marcus Xiang's voice came through clear and strong. Captain Volkov, the colonies stand with you, all of them. Alina's bridge crew stared in amazement as ships continued to arrive, mining vessels retrofitted with weapons, transport ships carrying fighters, even luxury yachts converted into command centers. The colonial fleet wasn't as powerful as the Concordats, but there were hundreds of them, all crewed by humans who'd chosen to rise up. You see, Admiral, Alina addressed the now silent Thexler. This isn't about one ship anymore. This is about freedom. Stand down your forces, return to the Concordat Council, and tell them it's time for change. Thexler's mandibles clicked in fury. You leave me no choice. All ships execute Protocol Omega, authorization Thexler Prime. Every Concordat ship suddenly powered up to maximum, their crystalline hulls glowing with energy. They weren't just overloading their weapons. They were preparing to self-destruct, taking half the system with them. CHRONOS options. Calculating, standard weapons will not neutralize all targets in time. However, the AI paused. Captain, I have access to the Titan's full weapons array, including systems that were considered too dangerous to use. The choice is yours. Alina looked at the tactical display, at the colonial fleet that had risked everything to stand with them, at the colony below filled with innocent lives, at her own crew who had followed her into legend. She thought of humanity's long imprisonment, of generations living under the Concordat's protection. What happens if we use these weapons? The Concordat fleet will be disabled instantly, but using this technology will prove they were right to fear us. It may validate everything they've claimed about humanity's dangerous potential. Alina took a deep breath. Sometimes being feared is better than being enslaved. Do it. The Titan's hull began to pulse with impossible energies. Panels opened to reveal weapons that defied modern science. CHRONOS's voice rang with something like pride. Initiating quantum cascade. All friendly ships engage radiation shields. What happened next would be debated by witnesses for generations. The space between the Titan and the Concordat fleet simply twisted. Reality itself seemed to hiccup, and when it recovered, Thexler's mighty warships hung powerless, their crystal hulls dark and lifeless. What did you do? Thexler's voice was barely a whisper.